My mom used to fix macaroni and cheese that everyone loved. And at many of our church suppers and special dinners or special events, they always wanted her to make the mac and cheese. And I've got the recipe and I'm going to share it with you. So let's do that today.
A good macaroni and cheese starts with lots of cheese, and you can decide what type you like.
I'm Leona and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. And I hope you will love being in the kitchen because it's something I like to do. And this is one of our family favorite recipes. And so I wanted to share it with you because if it's a favorite for our family, then I think your family might like it too. So let's try it together.
I like shredding my cheese when I bring it home from the grocery. And the reason for that is because, first of all, I prefer my own shredded cheese. I can decide on the size and also decide on the amount of cheese that I'm going to shred. I also like to shred my own because it keeps it healthier. I don't have any additional additives to it, and it's perfect for the family. I'm making a small batch of macaroni and cheese just for the big guy and I and one other person. I had several small bags of other cheeses that were also in the freezer that I needed to use up. So I've placed them also in this 2 cups of milk. And I have 2 cups of milk, I have a half stick of butter, and it is salted. And I also have lots of cheese. I will probably end up anywhere from about 3 to 4 cups of cheese into this sauce. Now, when you're preparing macaroni and cheese, keep this in mind. You cannot walk away from the sauce. You have to make sure that you are constantly stirring. And you'll notice that this particular wooden spoon has a very flat bottom. The reason for that is because of the fact that I want this spoon to touch the bottom of the pan to make sure that nothing sticks to the bottom, because if it does, it will ruin your sauce. You might be asking the question of, how do I know when I have enough cheese? And how do I know when it's finished? Well, here's the thing. First of all, you won't see any chunks of cheese. You'll make sure that it's nice and smooth. Second, you'll notice that the milk color will actually start to turn that nice yellowy orangey color of the cheeses that you've placed into your pot. And of course, because we haven't added anything that we shouldn't taste, this is a good time to be able to taste it once that change comes about. Just take a little spoon, taste the end of it, and that's a good time to decide, do I need more salt or not? Once the sauce is made, then you're going to want to cook your pasta. I like to use elbow pasta, elbow macaroni, but that's not necessarily the only type of pasta that you can use. You can use shells, you can use bows, you can use any shape that you like. But traditionally, macaroni and cheese is made with elbow macaroni. And so I'm going to use about 1 pound of elbow macaroni. And you'll see that this is more than enough macaroni in order to make our macaroni and cheese. I'm going to add it to boiling salted water and let it cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. I want it al dente so that because I already know that I'm going to cook it in the oven. So, and I want it to soak up all of that good sauce. So, because of that, we're going to somewhat undercook it initially. My mom always added a little extra protein, and she did that by adding egg to the macaroni and cheese. And I'm going to add 2 eggs into this macaroni and cheese because I know today we're using it as a side dish, but later in the week it's going to be the main dish, and we're going to need that protein. Tempering your eggs are very important. What you don't want to do is to pour the eggs into the sauce because the sauce is hot. And what will happen is that your eggs will start to cook and you'll end up with scrambled eggs. So, because of that, we're going to take some of the sauce and pour a little stream of it into the eggs, beating them well so that the eggs will come up to the temperature that we need. Then we can slowly add the egg mixture into the sauce, and you'll see a beautiful, silky sauce. Now is the time to drain your macaroni. Once it's drained, then you're going to add it into your casserole dish, or you even could place it directly into the sauce. Either way, that macaroni is going to take up and take in all of your sauce. Let the macaroni and sauce sit together for about 10 to 15 minutes. And the reason for that is so that your macaroni has a chance to soak up all of the sauce. And you'll see how we'll top this and make it beautiful as well as delicious.
I love spending time in the kitchen with you. And thank you for coming to the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme because it's here where we love our family, we love God, and we try to do the best that we can in our homes.
My mom always topped her macaroni and cheese with 2 things. First of all, she sprinkled paprika over the top, which gives it a very pretty and contrast of colors. Then she added even more shredded cheese to the top of the dish. And then she was ready to put it into the oven. Now we're going to place our macaroni and cheese in a 350 oven, and we're going to bake it until it's bubbly and golden. Now this you want to remember, you don't want to bake it to the point where you have a lot of butter standing on the side of your macaroni and cheese. If you've done that, then you probably baked it just a tad bit too long, but let me tell you, it's still going to be good. So make sure that you bring it out after about 25 minutes because it's going to continue to cook when it's sitting on your counter. This macaroni and cheese is perfect because as it cools, it's going to tighten up. And so I like mine straight out of the oven. I want it hot and melty and all of those good flavors just coming together. So let's get this plate made.
Wonderful homemakers don't have to be perfect. This is our Modern Home Economist tip. Dinners don't have to be perfect, but we make the best that we can with what we can. Come back to Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme